Can't see when the music stops. Okay. Hello. Thank you for joining me. This is a little bit impromptu, but who said we can't be spontaneous and do things in the spur of the moment just because we're introverts? So those of you who've been in my world for a while, and thank you if you're joining me live, and if you're watching this on replay, then #replay, let me know you're doing that. Those of you who've been in my world for a while will know how important it is for me as an introvert to replenish intentionally. And what I've come to realize over time, and again, if you receive my newsletters, then you'll know I often talk about the importance of actually doing things that genuinely replenish rather than just taking downtime. I hadn't realized early on that there was a difference for me, but there really is. And I've realized that what I need to do that's different is use a different part of my brain. And because I can take myself a bit seriously, I also need to do things that are a little playful. I bet you're wondering where this is going now, aren't you? Anyway, the title of this live, what are you doing live impromptu, making us introverts look bad? Yeah, exactly. And I've had to talk to a few introverts on social media today who are saying they can't live fully because they're an introvert, which is not down to introversion, that's down to other stuff. Anyway, I digress. The title of this particular live is The Frustrated Artisan. And again, if you've been in my world for any length of time, you will know I often describe myself as a frustrated artisan. I love using these and doing things creatively, taking raw materials and turning them into something practical or something beautiful or something obscure. I don't mind what it is, but I do love making things. I knit. Haven't done very much, but I've just bought some wool at the Stitch show or the Stitch festival last weekend. I love to sew. I made my husband some shirts and some formal trousers some time back. I won't be doing that again, although they were beautiful, but hard work. I love cross stitching, and godchildren and children of friends of mine have often had little cross stitched trinket boxes and memory keepers and things. And baking, although I haven't done that for a while. I made my own ring. I went to a silversmith class and made my own ring, and I would love to do more of that. I'm soon signed up to throw clay on a wheel, because if you're in the UK, you won't have been able to avoid the fact probably that the Great Pottery Throwdown has just finished. And it's one of any of those programs I love to follow on because they're artisans like me. But actually there's something about taking a real raw material and being able to turn it into something beautiful. Is it Mr. Clay? I hope not. Anyway, 2 Fridays ago, I took a very dear friend of mine, Carly, for an afternoon of ceramics painting, pottery painting. We wanted to do something creative. We wanted to spend the afternoon together. And she is a very precious soul to me. So it was lovely to spend some time with her. And we went to this place on the top of the world in Kent. If I tell you it's called Cold Blow is the venue, you'll get a sense of actually how remote it is and how in the middle of nowhere but the top of the world it really is, because boy does it blow cold there. And they also do other things like growing peonies, and we're going to go and do the peony walk. Anyway, I'm digressing again. Frustrated Artisan, pottery. This place, and I will tag it, is called This Art of Mine. And we had the most delightful afternoon. And the first thing we had to do was choose a piece of earthenware or clay or pottery, porcelain, whatever it was we chose, that we were then going to decorate, leave with them to dip and then fire. So I chose a very unusual looking pot. Of course I would. I wouldn't choose anything normal. And I didn't want to do anything structured with this. I wanted kind of to express myself freely on this pot. And again, those of you who know me well, when you see this will go, yeah, we recognize that kind of pattern, because it's very similar to some of the clothes I wear, ironically. Anyway, I wanted to come on and show you what I managed to produce, because when I left it with them, it looked a bit meh, kind of not particularly interesting. And I had to trust that the glazing process and the firing process would take this relatively bland looking thing and turn it into something gorgeous. Well, the magic worked. Are you ready to see? Are you ready to see? Rustle as I get it out of the bag. Look at this beauty. Look at it. It's stunning. It's tactile. You can see they're very much my colours. I'll let you into a little secret. Just before I went live, I changed my top, because you wouldn't have been able to tell this really from the difference from my top. It's very tactile, and the way this works is that you dab these particular paints onto bits of paper, and she gave me scissors to cut the paper, and I said, no, I want to tear the paper. I want it to be very fluid and random. And then you just kind of drape it and see what happens. So you can see, if I come up close, there are gorgeous different colours and spots, speckles of pink, which is where we put the kind of my nail varnish colour really onto a toothbrush and then flicked it. Do you know how satisfying that is to do? It's the sort of thing you would do naughtily as a kid, but now I get to do it for real. And look at what, yeah, what was that? How much for the mug? How do I buy it? You can't. And it's not a mug. It is only a kind of a vase, I think. I probably could drink out of it because it is glazed inside and out. But there's another little secret. I'm going to show you the secret now. Make sure the light doesn't catch. Look on the bottom. There's a dragonfly. For those of you, I know it's beautiful, isn't it? For those of you who've already got my book, Quiet is Fun Now, you'll see there's a dragonfly on the first page. And that's because dragonflies for me are symbolic of how we change and grow over time. Because unlike butterflies who go into this ooey gooey chrysalis mess and then emerge as a butterfly, dragonflies shed their skins, their kind of skeletons in a way, up to 15 times, depending on the type of dragonfly. So it's a kind of an ongoing process of growth and development and change. And that for me is very much representative of how I feel I've grown. Not just one big gooey mess and then there I am gorgeous, but kind of lots of different little changes. So I had to have a dragonfly at the bottom, and that is kind of silk screened on. I didn't draw that. Oh, that I was that clever. But what do you think? Isn't it gorgeous? What would you use it for? Sebastian talked about drinking from it. Would you drink from it? Oh, you can see, look in there. The flicking thing didn't really work. So I just did splodges on the brush. And I love it. It's just very random, very unusual. So for me, recharging and replenishing is not simply doing nothing. I find I don't recharge that way. I recharge and replenish when I do something that uses a different side of my brain, that enables me to access my creativity, that enables me to play because I can take myself too seriously. So I'd love you to think about what you can do this weekend. I'd actually eat loads and loads of mango yogurt ice cream. I think I know someone who would join you in that, if I'm not wrong, Sebastian. But I'd love to know what you might consider doing that's different, that's creative, that isn't just powering down and doing nothing, but is doing something that lights you up, that fills you with joy. Because I can tell you, this little baby, whatever I'm going to use it for, and do send me suggestions of what you think I should use it for. But this fills me with joy, and the ripples on it, the texture on it is so beautifully tactile. Couldn't find my words then. Now, didn't need a choking fit right now, did I? So as you're thinking about what you're going to do this weekend to replenish creatively, please let me know. Get back to me, drop me a line and let me know, and maybe show me the results like I've shown you yours, because this isn't about perfect. This is about doing things that just light us up. So get back to me, let me know, and I'd love to see what you do to replenish. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye now.